Dun-dun. An Evening at the Movies is a proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Other shows in the network include Mass Debaters, The Sip List, Crushgasm, Love is Black, Men Are the Prize, Crime Rewind, and Literature Reapers. You can find out all about our shows and more at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. Happy listening. You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
So, first of all, before I say hello and welcome to
Hello? He was just like, first of all.
I'm getting there. The podcast where we eat the stale popcorn, we drink the watered down sodas, we talk about all of our favorite movies and why we love them. I'll get to that in a minute. But unpopular opinions, if there is an unpopular opinion on tonight's movie, y'all both are going to be fired. I'm just saying that right now because this movie is legend. Wait for it. And I hope you're not lactose intolerant because the rest of the word is dairy.
Dairy. Legendary.
So, all right. Before we go into the future, we must go into the past. So, welcome everybody to An Evening at the Movies, the podcast where we eat stale popcorn, we drink the watered down sodas, we talk about all of our favorite movies and why we love them. I am your gracious host, um, also known as your buddy Bruce. But realistically, for all time's sake, I am Kasey, and I am joined by my awesome co-host, Mrs. Matt Hooper herself.
And
Say
another
hi,
wife.
Mrs. Hooper.
Hello to me. Yes. If I was gonna, well, I don't know. I could be in a Brody Hooper sandwich. I wouldn't mind that. But if I have to pick one, Matt, he's my dude. Yes. He's so smart and witty and wow, even with the glasses.
Why you don't want to have a Brody and Hooper and Quint sandwich?
I would have angry sex with Quint. Like if I was really pissed off or really drunk, I feel like I could get some good angry fucking going. But he's not like, he's not going to be my lover for life like Matt Hooper would be.
Good point. And Caleb is watching with us. Caleb, I had not said what we're discussing. Well,
it's on my shirt.
We've given clues as to what we're talking about tonight, but I almost guarantee you have not seen this movie, so you probably did not pick up on them. We are talking about the 1975 uber classic that everybody loves, The Jaws.
50 years old. What?
I mean, it's almost as old as I am.
Can I just start talking, or do I have to be introduced first?
Well, you
can't remember how this
getting
works.
there.
Well, we're going to introduce you. We're going to talk about a couple of things, and then we're just going to let you go off.
Okay.
Well, and before I get to the other introduction, though, I cannot get through talking about things being old without bringing up the fact that this movie is still not as old as Harvandre himself, Harvey Laguerre. So, with all of that said, though,
50? I think he did just turn 50, didn't he? All right. Anyway, we can ask him.
Harvey's like 74 years old.
I think he was born an old man, but he's actually not that old.
So, old school. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a discussion about this one. First of all, you do not have to be old to appreciate classics, Caleb. So, with all of that said, though, we do have a guest.
Don't like them. It's okay, but If you don't like Jaws, you're allowed to be wrong in your wrongness, I guess.
Even Dre, who does not like old shit, likes Jaws. So
So we have a guest.
I digress. We do have a guest, and I was getting to that before I got a comment, and I'm actually being really good about putting the comments up as they pop in. So yay for me. But we are joined. Well, dare I say guest, or just the fact that she's becoming a semi-regular on the show because this is what, like, her 12th appearance on the show in the last month and a half.
Doesn't have to be guest.
My
I'll take
little
family. That's
girl,
fine.
regular.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. But we're joined by Movie Miss from Let's Talk Turkeys. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. This movie is my favorite movie of all time. So the fact that y'all waited and let me be on this episode is huge. So thank you both.
You're very welcome. It is a great movie.
Yes, it is. I was just revisiting after listening to that comment. I was just revisiting the Universal Classics, because we did Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
And those are older than me, and I appreciate them. So yeah, even though Jaws is a lot older than the younger folks, you can still go back and watch it and appreciate it, I think.
Yeah. It's only
Very
3
much.
years.
It's well, and it's definitely something that stands the test of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be living in a 1975 world to appreciate everything that is great about this movie. So, Mr. Caleb, who has never seen it, damn you to hell for that, and you need to go freaking watch it.
We don't have to damn him to hell, but he definitely should watch it.
A little harsh.
I fully no. But
it's okay. The power of Christ is going to compel him to watch it. Yes. That way he won't be damned to hell. The power of Christ compels you.
It is on the Peacock. You can go watch it there. It's only 2 hours and 5 minutes out of your life. Put down the phone and go watch the movie.
Wait, no, but wait until this is over and then go watch it.
Yeah, don't
listen to us spoil it first.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really.
Right, spoilers
Spoiler
for a
alert!
50-year-old movie.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Caleb's like 20-something years old, so.
There's we're gonna ruin. I mean, shark movie.
There's only really probably one point of this movie that might cause somebody to, drop their fucking jaw, and I'm sure we all know what it is, but we'll get to that at some point in the discussion. So, Summerween.
Yes.
Co-host. There may be some people here who were not with us last week. So really quickly, he's messing with. I may not be. Just kidding. Would you like to explain what Summerween is all about?
Yes. So we're celebrating Halloween in the summer. So we're pretending it's October. We're, doing all our Halloween shit, but we're doing it in the middle of summer. And this month we are celebrating horror movies that take place in the summer. So hence Jaws, 4th of July weekend movie. Takes place at the beach. What's more summer than that?
3 more months till Halloween.
So I sang that on our last recording when we did I Know What You Did Last Summer. I said, happy Summerween, Summerween.
Yes.
And I have 3 more times to sing it. My limit's 4.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, I still have 2 left from last time. So today it could be 6. We're going to find out.
I will fucking mute you. And you'll just have to pay attention to the episode and see where the discussion takes us for your explanation as to why the movie is called Jaws. You little frickin' millennial. Um,
Well, yeah, the movie's called
but
Jaws because the book is called Jaws.
Fair. And I think the book is called
mm,
Jaws because the shark has the mouth of.
Well,
Yes.
the book they wanted to call it other things. And like Leviathan, from the deep, stuff like that. And then the publisher was like 4 hours away from going to print and he's like, "We need a title." And they were like, "Just slap Jaws on it. We're good to go."
Nice.
For real.
Love it. That's awesome. I still haven't read the book. I think I may need to
oh
do
my
that.
god.
You're in for a nice couple of surprises if you read the book.
I do have the novelization of Jaws 2, which I also haven't read, but I picked it up at a thrift store. But I need to get the original Jaws.
I won't spoil
So
it for you, but the book for
Okay.
Jaws has quite a few differences from the film.
I have heard, but I don't know
Yeah.
what they are. So,
That's what I'm saying. I won't spoil it for you because that's
nothing
half the fun.
okay.
nothing horribly bad though. I mean,
Don't spoil it for her.
I'm not. I'm trying to encourage people to read said book and fully appreciate it because the book, I feel like the book is one of my favorite non-Stephen King books of all time. So,
Oh, interesting.
I
'Cause I don't
heard
care
it's.
for Benchley's writing style.
Oh, okay. So it's the
Personally,
yeah, I have read a lot worse books than Jaws. Trust me. Amanda can attest for the fact that Shanna recommended a book for our other show that's currently on hiatus that we had to sit through and read through, and it was not chef's kiss at all.
I mean, you recommended The Stand, and I couldn't even finish it. So,
Hey, hey,
anyway, I can't.
you bite your damn tongue.
I tried. I really did. I gave it the old college try. I read over half of it, and I was like, "Nope, I can't read this book anymore." I did hear that the book version of, or the book Jaws, is you see or hear or read from the shark's POV, kind of like in Cujo, where you get POV. Is that true? Like, where you
maybe.
okay, all right,
Ain't no damn spoilers on this damn show,
all right.
co-host.
We'll find out. Well, so we have a special treat for everybody, including Movie Miss, who this will be her first time doing this with us.
We're taking her virginity.
Yes, we are popping your sip libs cherry.
I was gonna say that ship sailed a long time ago.
Well, you could have re-virginized. We don't know. I really hope not, but I don't wish that for you. So we are going to do some sip libs, which is just adult Mad Libs, courtesy of my show, The Sip List, which is on a break. So the title, basically what happens is we just go around. I ask everybody for, the word. If you don't remember grammar shit, just ask me and I can tell you. And then the only rule is that the very first adjective will be certifiably fuckable. And that's a joke from a Sip Libs from long ago, and that's just the rule. So yeah. So are you guys ready to do that?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I was freaking born ready.
All right. So this one is called Serial Killer because let's face it, Bruce is a serial killer.
Oh, for sure.
And we're starting off with an adjective. So I am going to put certifiably fuckable. And Movie Miss, you get to give me an adjective.
Adjective. Squishy.
Ooh, good one. Kasey, a number.
Um, 316.
You broke him. How do you not say 69, bro?
I know. I was waiting for
That's-
69. That's
that's
usually his answer.
That is usually what I say, and can attest to that. But I'm breaking out of the norm.
Okay.
Keeping it classy tonight.
Oh no,
Oh no.
We're going in the
no.
gutter here in a second.
Okay, mine is a famous person, and I'm gonna say Steven Spielberg. Why not? Okay. Movie miss, plural noun.
Condoms.
Nice. Kasey? Oh God.
I will not keep it classy.
Well, here comes Kasey. You just wait. Body part.
Ah, body part. I could go with the low hanging fruit.
It has a name.
Um, no, well, back inside my comfort zone. Amanda knows where I'm going. Do you?
This
Just
is painful.
say
This is painful. Give her one.
it.
Roast beef curtains.
Well, actually, it's only one, but
I don't. First of all, if you only have one curtain,
I don't want
that's
to.
on
Yeah,
you.
no. Okay, mine is a noun. I'm gonna go with shrieking eel. I know it's from a different movie, but we're gonna throw it in here because it's in the ocean. Oh man, you get the good one. Movie miss, serial killer.
Oh, name a serial killer?
Yes.
Let's go. Oh my God, I'm distracted by Caleb. Who is Steven Spielberg?
The fuck?
Okay, this man needs a cinematic education right quick.
Oh, Jesus God.
Okay,
Okay, we gotta come back
Um,
to that. But what? Wow.
serial killer.
Serial
Let's
killer.
go
Yeah.
with gosh, do I want to just go with the famous obvious one?
It's fine.
Yeah, Ted Bundy.
You do you, boo.
Yeah, Ted Bundy.
Oh, Kasey, now you got a body part plural.
well, you could have warned me, and then I would have
Yeah,
just
see,
saved
so
those
swap
curtains.
them.
I can swap them. Give me a singular one and I'll swap them.
Okay. Go labia for the single and roast beef curtains for the plural.
Okay. I get an adjective and I'm going to say
Moist.
porrish. Okay. Movie miss. Adjective.
Scaly.
Ooh, okay. Kasey, a noun.
Whorehouse.
Where is your mind at tonight? Good Lord. I'm following all the breadcrumbs here.
All right, I got a number,
Just
so
the
I will
same.
do the right thing and put 69.
Good girl.
Okay. Movie miss, a noun.
69, dude.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
A noun.
A noun. Let's go with salamander.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. And last one, Kasey, another number.
666.
No.
Vetoed.
No. How about 667? It's right there.
Nope.
I don't fuck with evil spirits. I'm not putting it. So pick another number.
Will 6 just work? Are you happy with 6?
Fine. 7, 8, 9.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sounds like a combination an idiot would put on his luggage. All right. Here we go. Oh my God, Kasey, we've done this before because I remember the name Robert Forrester. Okay, here we go. Robert Forrester was a certifiably fuckable man. He was always a squishy type of man. He never hurt anyone. Until 316 years ago, he was even the one who killed Steven Spielberg. He used different things to murder people with, even condoms.
That bastard.
Oh my God, no, I can't do it. Okay, I can do it. He even once shoved a man's labia into a shrieking eel. He was inspired by Ted Bundy. He took souvenirs from his victims, such as roast beef curtains.
I think I've seen that horror movie.
Yeah, right. He was then caught by a whorish policeman because of the scaly smell coming from his whorehouse. Ooh. He had over 69 bodies in his salamander. He was sent to prison for 789 life terms.
Wow. Wow.
Oh. So, for people that don't know, I had used this website, so we've done some of them more than once, and I don't always remember. Then I had an app that a friend created for me with Chat GPT, but it stopped working, and so he's working on a new one. So yeah, we're revisiting an old one, but that's still a good one.
It was new to me though, so
Exactly.
I appreciate it. That was funny.
Good old Robert Forrester.
By the way, thank God it was a recycled Robert Forrester and not recycled Nightmare on My Street.
Oh, I would never do that one again. Yeah, we did one that was rewriting the song, the Nightmare on My Street song, and
Mhm.
it took literally 10 minutes just to get through all the because there were so many. I was
Oh,
like,
no thanks.
that
Yeah.
was yeah, we will never do that again. It was
No,
cool, but
Robert Forrester's a fun
Really?
one because he was an alligator, and that to me is like Jaws adjacent. So it's all good.
well, there you go.
I'm not gonna lie, we love doing sip libs, but that Nightmare on My Street one
Was terrible.
was
Nobody
we
wants to
both
listen to that long.
Yeah,
we
it sounds
were
rough.
Yeah, it
both
was.
yeah, we were both losing interest
We were bored. We were like, is
about
this over yet? Yeah.
midway. And it's like, oh my God, how much longer is this gonna be?
All
So
right. Well, Kasey, tell us about Jaws so we can get into the discussion.
Yes.
I have to pull up the Wikipedia, so talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Okay. Well, Jaws was
Because
released in 1975, June 26th, I believe, or June 29th.
20th,
June
I think.
20th.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
Hold on, I got
Ray
it right
Scheider,
in
Richard
here.
Dreyfuss, Lorraine. What's Lorraine's last name? I'm doing all this stuff.
Gray.
Gary
Gray.
and Robert Shaw.
I've got it right here.
Hey, it was pretty good for
So,
off the top
all
of
right.
my head.
That was really good for off the top of your head. You get points.
I've seen it.
So
Probably not as many as you, but
love proving Amanda wrong, but Jaws released on June 20th, 1975.
I was super close, so bite me.
Yeah, I agree, Caleb, but Amanda has a stick up her butt.
I don't fuck with the evil spirits. Just saying. I don't know if they're real or not, but I don't want to know.
You fuck with the gypsies, though.
Well, only Chansey, because he's the only one we can call that. But anyway, Jaws.
Yes, directed by Caleb, Steven Spielberg.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I'm not
really
gonna,
quickly.
Let's leave
really
Caleb
quickly,
alone.
though.
I don't want to hurt
Jaws, Raiders of the Lost Ark,
E.T.
Temple of Doom, E.T., Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. There's 5 movies right there.
But those are all old. Throw out Super 8. That's of his generation.
Okay.
So Super 8.
There's 6. After the show, go watch those movies. Great movies. So, all right. Directed by Steven Spielberg, released by Universal Pictures. Had a budget of $9 million.
Is that the starting budget or the budget they ended up with?
Yeah, not the starting budget.
Okay. Because this movie
Yeah, I
overdone
was
its
gonna
budget.
Yeah. And nobody in the world wanted to fund this movie, and hence the reason why it was thrown into production limbo a lot. And how much of that $9 million was spent on uh, refurbing Bruce the Shark every time they had a damn meltdown?
There were 3 Bruces, and even they
Mhm.
couldn't make that work.
Exactly. So it had a box office of $477.9 million.
Making it the first summer blockbuster, quote unquote.
Do you know why it's called a blockbuster?
No. Why is it called a
Do you,
block?
Oh,
Casey?
because it
Were people standing, were they lined up around the block to watch it? Is
They
that
were
why?
busting the block a lot. Yep.
Yes! That was
Ding,
a
ding, ding,
total
ding,
guess.
ding. You redeemed yourself. All the points.
I mean, that
Well, because
makes
people
sense.
our age remember having to stand outside a theater to buy tickets. Like, you couldn't buy shit online.
That was
Casey's,
half the fun.
yeah, Casey's heard
Camping
this.
out.
He can make fun of me again, but the Twilight Breaking Dawn, I stood outside the theater with my friend for like 3 hours so that we wouldn't be stuck in the front row because you couldn't buy tickets
Oh.
online then.
We camped out. We would take
Hateful.
tents and sleeping bags and a deck of cards, and we would camp the fuck out all day for whatever we wanted. Hell yes. And that was half the
Oh no,
fun.
Yeah, it was.
I specifically remember being a kid, and I'm not necessarily naming particular movies per se, but there was times where I would show up at the mall like 2 hours early before showtime and buy my damn ticket, and then right around the fucking corner to the arcade and just start plunking
Yeah.
quarters in the damn video game machines
Mhm.
until
But you still had
about
to stand
15
in
minutes
line to get a
before.
good seat. If it was like a
Oh
huge
yeah,
movie, you still had to get there like an hour early as soon as they would let you line up so that you weren't sitting at the very front of the theater.
Yeah, that was before assigned seating for all the
Yes.
youngins out there. It was rough growing up going to the movies.
or if there was multiple people in
Yeah.
your group,
They'll never know.
sitting all over the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? The
Welcome to
worst was being
Thunderdome, bitches.
split. And you're
Yes.
like waving at your friend and asking people to move, and sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't.
Hey, Billy Bob, did you see what just happened?
You know
Yeah, I
what I wonder?
did. Okay, just making sure.
I wonder how relationships were affected or have been affected by the transition from standing in line for movies to being able to buy your tickets ahead of time and just walk right in, because it it shortens dates, and that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing, but
Mhm.
I mean,
Time to go
So
home.
controversial opinion, but I think movies are terrible dates if you're like in your first year of dating. After that, I don't think it matters because you're comfortable. You don't need to be standing in line. But I think a movie's a terrible first date, especially
it's a
because
terrible first.
you're not talking.
Yeah.
And if you're not standing out front, like you said, you just go in and you sit in the dark and quiet for 2 hours. It's like, what a horrible date. You're not getting to know that person
Yeah.
at all.
2 hours. What the hell movie are you going to on a date?
I'm just saying.
Most movies now are two and a
Oh, I
half to
don't
three
fuck with
hours.
2.5 hour movies. Oh, no,
We're
no, no.
talking about longer. Hey, I saw Armageddon on a first date and I was sobbing like a baby and I was like, this guy's never going to call me again. But we dated for 4 years. So sometimes it works out.
What's the worst movie you've ever seen on a first date?
Titanic.
You took a
Really?
first date to Titanic.
Yes.
Interesting.
Really? And it was
That's a bold move. That's a bold strategy, Casey.
right. That's a big commitment.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a bad movie on a first date. If I had to pick one that was my least favorite, I
Well,
would
like
say
the date might be bad though, is what I'm saying, not necessarily the movie.
probably
Like you had a horrible time.
The Shadow, which is like way back in the 90s. Nobody
That's like
even knows
95.
Alec
Oh, okay.
Baldwin. Nobody even knows The Shadow. And I actually liked the movie, but the date was not good. And then, no, wait, that's not the worst one. A Perfect Murder. Love the movie. Went on the date with the guy as a favor to his best friend, who I was really in love with. And he was a nice guy, but it was so awkward because we were the only people in the theater besides one other couple. And I just kept going, he's going to try to make out with me. He's going to try to make out with me. And then you're watching the sex scenes with Gwyneth Paltrow and what's this? And I'm like, oh my God, this is so awkward.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good movie though.
Oh, it's a great movie. But that date was.
And by the way, Amanda?
Huh? Oh, Caleb says, "Never mind. I know who Steven Spielberg is. Never mind. I'm a dumbass."
Okay, you've been redeemed, Caleb. You've redeemed yourself.
We would never call you that to your face.
I,
If you're
oh,
gonna,
I would,
you
but
know.
I'm not judging per se. Maybe a little bit, but
Oh, I am.
it just took me back by the fact that Steven Spielberg is probably safely ensconced in my top 5 directors of all time. And
He's one of the most famous directors in the universe. Like, whether you love his movies or not, it's like,
yeah.
but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the reason I asked about the
So-
movies is because I know we were all way too young to be going to see Jaws at the theater. But since it's been re-released, so have you ever seen Jaws on the big screen, either of you?
I am going August 29th.
Yay,
When
that's
they
my
are
birthday. I'm so excited for that.
Are you going to see it?
I'm going to try. I'm taking that day off of work.
I mean, tickets. I already bought my tickets.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
We're going to
I've
Alamo
seen it
Draft
twice on
House.
the big screen. So, I mean,
I never have.
Hashtag talk about buying tickets online.
What?
Not judging.
But you didn't
Said
say,
hashtag
did
talk-
you, are you going or have you seen it on the big screen?
That's to you, Kasey. You have
No,
to
you
use
have not.
words.
You have not.
You have to use words for people who aren't watching the video.
I am still, you know me, I'm a bitter fucking plobster, and I still haven't got over the fact that our mall/movie theater has been condemned.
Yeah, Kasey doesn't have a movie theater.
Well, you just got to drive a little farther. That's all.
Yeah.
It's worth it. This is
Yes.
Jaws, man.
Lot further.
I would say it's
So-
worth it to drive to see Jaws on the big screen. The first time I saw Halloween in a theater, again, was at Alamo Draft House. It fucking rocked my world because that was a movie I grew up watching, was too young to see in the theater. It came out, 6 months before I was born, or 2 months before I was, something like that. And watching movies, I saw Halloween 3 in the theater, and it's just so cool. But again, Kasey grew up going to the movies.
I'm sorry.
I didn't. I did not grow up going to the movies. We didn't do that.
Now, it's in Texas somewhere where you have Jaws on the water, right?
Yes, it's by Austin, and I really wanna do
okay.
that.
Okay, because that would be, I wouldn't do it if it was on a lake. On a pool, swimming pool, sure, because I could see the bottom.
It's on a lake.
Yeah, I
Well,
would not do that.
We'll be doing it
Oh,
at
no.
my new house.
There
So-
you
Oh,
go.
no. KSTB does not do any kind of liquid where you cannot see the bottom.
Yeah.
Jaws done spoiled that for me.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna get to this point before we got to the end of the show, but I'll just rip the fucking band-aid off now and say it. I was fine with this movie and the whole being afraid of the water. You know, Jaws did for swimming what blah 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 blah. But when it gets to the end of the damn movie and Hooper's in that damn shark cage and the
Mhm.
freaking shark is freaking ripping that damn metal shark cage apart and then comes up out of the damn water and sinks the ass into the boat, and then they literally show him on Quint. That shit messed me up.
Well, how old were
Gotta
you?
remember, I thought I was like 8 years old the first time I saw Jaws.
Okay,
I mean,
so fair.
That's
So,
fair, yeah.
I was young and traumatized by. Nowadays, that shit ain't nothing. I've seen all the damn Saw movies, so
Okay.
So there are
not saying
two
I
things.
enjoyed them, but
There are two things I would love to do if I knew I couldn't get hurt. One of them is take the submarine down to the Titanic like James Cameron did. If I knew I wouldn't get hurt, I wouldn't die, love that. The other thing is be in a fucking shark cage surrounded by sharks. I would love to be in the ocean and be able to look at sharks and maybe even reach out and pet them if they couldn't hurt me, or even just not to touch them. Like, to be in the ocean and be able to see the actual wildlife like whales and sharks and whatever and not get hurt, totally would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm with you with the whole shark cage
So
stuff. Um,
speaking
but
of
there's
different curses,
a little a little trivia for you on the whole shark cage thing. I'm sure you know this if you did any research, Casey, but um, the shot was the wildlife photographers who were filming the actual sharks for the film, and a shark actually breached and hit the top of the cage and was not injured, got away luckily without getting hurt, but they left it in the movie. So Hooper, who was supposed to die in the film in the shark cage scene, ends up surviving the movie because he gets out of the cage. And the reason they have him get out of the cage is because they got that amazing shot of the shark
Right.
without anybody in the cage and they had to use it. I mean, how could you not? It's a great, terrifying scene.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
And then also the part where they show Hooper being surprised is a little person inside of a cage to get additional footage shot in the editor's swimming pool in her backyard. That was additional footage that Spielberg paid out of his own pocket to shoot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that whole shark cage thing, the whole thing works. Thank God Spielberg did everything the way he did it. It's that movie that just came together. I mean, against all
herein
odds.
lies
In
the
160
beauty.
days, as opposed to
Yeah,
55.
I would say herein lies the beauty of his fucking talent, though. Look at what he created with literally scraps at his disposal.
Oh, the shots, you know how when the men are all out at the end and they're drinking and comparing scars, and then all of a sudden the shark starts to ram the boat and you see the
Mhm.
boards cracking? He did that in his driveway and was kicking the side of the boards. And
That's
it's,
awesome.
I mean, talk about guerrilla filmmaking in the 11th hour, like getting shit done that he needed.
Yeah.
So smart.
And his vision is always so like this movie has some of my favorite like just shots that you wouldn't think that need to be cool, but that are like when the little boy Alex gets attacked and they do that zoom like 3 zoom in on Brody because it's
Mm-hmm.
not like a straight zoom, it's almost like a wah, wah, wah.
It's a push pull. Yeah.
And it's yeah, okay, you know what it's called, good. And then the music, like that shot to me is just perfection. Chef's kiss, like win all the awards because it's so good, but it's really subtle too. And then
Yes.
and then real quick when they're heading out on the orca, the giant, mouth of the shark, and it just zooms through that to show them going out on the orca.
Yes.
Like I get chills. Like it's so genius and it's so simple.
I was gonna say you brought up awards. So this
Oh, I
was
have it. That okay.
yet the Oscars that it was nominated for and won. Do you know?
I do. I have those
Okay.
in my notes, but if you want to do it,
I'll let you. No, go ahead. I'll let you.
Oh,
Well,
what?
we have a game to play before
Oh,
we get to the awards.
we skipped Rotten
Oh,
Tomatoes.
okay.
My bad.
Well, yeah, there's other things I wanted to talk about before we get there anyway, because you were bringing up favorite shots, and I was like, we should talk about some tension building and some scares, because when that head pops out in the boat,
Yeah.
that was an additional scene that was shot as well to add an extra scare. It wasn't originally in the first draft. The pier scene when the men take the holiday roast, which by the way, who eats a roast for 4th of July?
Right? Right? That's what I was kind of like, is that what
That
they do in
is
the Northeast?
so tense, that scene, because the
Yeah.
music is the shark in that scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what gives me chills.
I mean, I
That
know
is
that
again
okay.
the beauty of Spielberg's vision, though. How many times in that over the course of this movie was that shark actually visually on screen?
He didn't appear until 1 hour and 24 minutes. Like in the face. I mean, you saw the fins and whatever, but
So, but legitimately full on to where you actually realize, other than that fucking dorsal fin,
1 hour and 24 minutes.
yeah, of a 2 hour and 5 minute long movie, and in that last 40 minutes, he shows up three times, maybe four times.
I
I
mean,
think
you
the
get him good
actual
with the orca. Like writhing around on the boat and like
And by the time that happens, you haven't seen the shark as much. And so for me, I can forgive how janky it looks now because we've built the tension and we've taken the ride this whole time. You're not going to lose me now with the big shot, the reveal shot. Like it's fine. It's fine.
I think
But
it's cool. I
legitimately,
mean,
like Spielberg, the way he shot everything, John Williams and his score for the movie, add that all together and tie it up with a nice little pink bow on top of it.
Movie magic.
Ah,
so
Did
let
you
me.
know?
Oh,
I was just gonna say when speaking of tension, when he's chumming, when Brody's chumming, and the shark pops out of the water, that's a terrific jump scare, right?
yes.
Chills. But then also when he backs
Chum some
in
of this shit.
and he's not even looking at Quint, he's just looking straight where the shark was, and he says, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." That was ad lib.
Yes.
I did
I,
not know that for the longest time. I was so excited to be like, yes, they let people like play with this movie because that's not the only ad lib line.
I'm sure Richard Dreyfuss had several because he's just so funny. He's just so dry and witty and just like.
Well, they had no lines for Ben Gardner, the character, either. And people were discussing on another podcast recently, and I was like, he had no lines anyway. He's just on a boat mumbling. And I'm like, no, he's the guy that greets Hooper at the dock and
Oh
says,
yeah.
talks to Hooper for just a brief minute. And so they let a lot of the people because they were all islanders. In fact,
Right.
even Hendricks,
Martha's
Jeffrey
Vineyard.
Kramer, I believe, was an islander at the time.
Was he? Because he's in Halloween too. So
yes, and he's
I
in
love that.
Clue. Mm-hmm.
He is in Clue. I forgot he was.
He's
in
the
Clue.
motorist.
That's right. That is right. Every time I watch Halloween 2, I'm like, Hendrix, what are you doing here?
Right. And you mentioned the beach scene with the pushing and pulling with the camera zooming on Brody.
mm-hmm.
So in that scene, there's two things that stick out to me. Number one is the Bad Hat Harry, the old guy that sits down, right? So did you know, we don't have to talk about him because he's problematic, but Bryan Singer named his production company Bad Hat Harry after that.
That's interesting.
And then I always
Bad
laugh.
Hat Harry.
It's so random, but I always laugh when Mr. Taft sits down right in Brody's face and he's asking him and Brody's trying to like look around him.
Yeah, he's like,
and he's going, there's some cats that are like parking in front of my house. And I'm just like thinking to myself, Toonces? Like is Toonces driving and parking in front of his house? Who are these cats we speak of?
Oh, that's funny. Let me ask you guys a question. So we know, and for the people that don't know, the three Bruces, named after Spielberg's lawyer, which I love, were a problem. They didn't work. They had lots of issues with them. It really delayed production. And so a lot of the non-sharkness we got was because of that. The yellow barrel thing was because of that. So
Because
do you
of
think
that.
Huh? What?
Well, no, I was just saying all of that was Spielberg had to get creative because of the Bruce
Right.
issues.
And the barrels were a great substitute. Like the barrels really gave you the fear, even without seeing the sharks. You're like, oh, he's coming. But I always wonder, had the mechanical sharks worked properly, would we have gotten an entirely different movie that maybe wouldn't have been as scary?
100%. 100%. Yes. You are. Yes.
It would have been more gratuitous, right?
We would have seen too much too soon of the shark.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, it worked out for the best, even though they had to get creative.
I agree that I think it would have been too much too soon. I still will die on this hill that 90% of the beauty of this movie is the genius mystery and the mind games that Spielberg's playing with not showing the shark, but you still see the shark in your head.
Well, I think it also allows for the heart of the story and the true storytelling aspect that Spielberg is so good at. He's such a sappy director that he's able to really bring the rest of the story to the forefront because we're not focusing on seeing the shark. Like the fact that Quint and Hooper and Brody represent brains, heart, and brawn, and all three of them have to work in unison to beat the devil, like
Yeah.
I love that aspect of the storytelling. So I think that's his thing, and he stuck with it with his films through the years.
And then also it's like, going back, which isn't Spielberg, but going back to Halloween 3, I feel like this movie is like Halloween 3, that it's like this big statement on capitalism. Like, these townsfolk are so unbothered by their own people getting killed by sharks because, or maybe there's summer people too, who knows, but because they're worried about making their money. And it's like greed and the almighty dollar and all that hoopla, like that's really at the forefront too. It's like, how far will you go to make money? And Brody's the only voice of reason, but they all think he's crazy.
Well, he's new to the island, so had the former police chief been there, or had he been there longer, maybe they would have trusted him more. But that's not the story we get. Yeah. We get the distrust. But if I'm a hotel, if I'm a hotel owner and I have to make all my money, the summer dollars are like gonna sustain me through winter. Fuck yes, I'm like, don't close the beach. Yeah. At first, I'd be like, no. That's my livelihood. Please don't do that.
Because you have to think, though, too, a lot of it is after Labor Day, a lot of those communities like that are literally shut down completely until
it's just people who live there year round.
The spring.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks, but it's a reality in the fact that,
I mean, maybe after the first, but not after the second one. I mean,
yeah, that's true. It's a small area too. Have you ever been out to Martha's Vineyard, either of you?
I haven't. I want to. It's on my list.
Yeah, right. Me too. Bucket list.
I need to go to Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard and drink fancy cocktails and go out on a boat and pretend I'm East Coast rich for a minute. I've read too many Elin Hildebrand novels. I'm like, I need to go out there.
There once was an Amanda from Nantucket.
Exactly.
So there's a pub out there, I think it's called The Wharf, where Jeffrey Kramer, he owns it and works there. He was little Alex Kintner, who gets killed on the raft in Jaws. And yeah, right. He's part of the Amity Jaws group that I'm in on Facebook, and I've talked to him on the phone, and I've gotten some autographed pieces from him that I have on my wall in my Jaws bathroom. So that's my goal, is to like go there and go meet him in person and see all the locations,
Can you ask him how old the actress was that played his mom at the time of filming? Because you cannot convince me that was his mom. That had to be his grandma.
So yeah, Lee Fierro, I think, who's sadly passed away, was a standard.
She was 90 in that movie.
She was not his grandmother. But see, here's the thing you're not thinking of, Boo. You're forgetting. Back then, people who were, when they were 50, like, okay, here's an example. I saw a meme the other day that had Salma Hayek at 50 next to Rue McClanahan from the Golden Girls at 50. Right. Like, we just looked older back then.
Yeah.
We aged faster back then.
You cannot convince me Richard Dreyfuss was 28 when he filmed this movie. Like, Richard Dreyfuss has to be at least 35 in this movie, but he's not.
It's the beard, right? It ages him. But yeah, that's supposed to be his mom.
There is nothing wrong with facial hair, goddammit.
No, there's not. It's just, people just looked older. You got to think these people were probably like Hooper and Brody and Brody's wife, not Quint probably, but they're probably supposed to be in their 30s, right? Like because they
at least
young children. Like there's no way these people are 30 or 35. Like, even Brody and his wife look like they're at least 40.
Yeah, agreed.
And people weren't having kids that old back then, so, do the math.
I think his wife looks younger in Jaws 4 than she looks in Jaws 1.
Well, she had some work done.
But that's my own personal opinion.
Well, shoulder pads does it for you, makes you look younger.
Sorry, we're jumping around on topics, but I wanted to go back to what we were talking about real quick about, not seeing the shark and all that stuff that he did. And the thing I always think about with Jaws, what it does so brilliantly, and Halloween kind of did it too, not as deep, but it's letting your imagination go wild. Like our minds can conjure up way more fear than something they can put on the screen. And so like in the beginning, when you're seeing Chrissy thrashing around in the water, and boy, did that girl work for her paycheck. She was like, I've got 4 minutes and 32 seconds of screen time and I am going to work it.
Right.
But it's like,
I'm telling you, she freaking walked so Jamie Lee Curtis could get her coronation day and become the scream queen that she became.
yeah, she was a good screamer. But I mean, we obviously we're supposed to know it's a shark, I think. I mean, I guess. It was on the movie poster, so I feel like we're supposed to know this is a shark, but we can't see it, so we have no idea. And it's just like, in your mind, you always can create this more terrifying image. Now, in this case, it was actually as terrifying, but
that scene is terrifying. We don't need to see the shark there.
But that's the beauty of a lot of horror filmmaking, is when they let your imagination do it for you.
Yeah.
It's like the sky's the limit. If they set the scene right, you're in your mind going freaking the fuck out, and you don't even know what you're in for yet. So
yeah, it's effective filmmaking.
The genius of Bruce ×3 not working correctly.
Well, the saltwater's a son of a bitch, and they did not account for that, which is hysterical to me. Like, you're going to be filming on the ocean. Why would you not test it?
Speaking of Chrissy, so I love the ocean. I am convinced in my past life I was a mermaid. Like when Moana sings How Far I'll Go, that's what I sing every time I go in the ocean. Like I am the first person that will go in the ocean balls deep. I'm ready. You could not pay me to go in the ocean at nighttime when there's no light and nobody around. You have no idea what's out there. You gotta respect the sea. If you're swimming at night, I mean, poor Chrissy.
Well, that's
still
prime time.
Night?
Yeah, that's prime feeding time too.
Yeah,
when they're out hunting. Like, why would you do? But she was drunk. She just wanted to party and fuck. Like that. Let's skinny dip. Let's fuck. Like, too bad the dude wasn't up for it.
He was like, I can swim. I just can't dress myself. And that poor kid was so traumatized. I felt bad for him. He was like
I promise you, I'm still coming.
Yeah, he's like, I called it in. Like,
no, he wasn't.
Like, oh, she must have drowned. And then when he finds out what's happening, and you just barely get a glimpse when he's sitting in the police station, but he just looks like the look on that kid's face. He did a good job for his 37 seconds of the movie.
But what makes me laugh is I'm like, well, did he really see her body? Because when they find her remains, Brody is looking and he's like, oh, he's totally selling it, right? If you watch the kid, he's looking everywhere around, so confused, and he doesn't one time look down at Chrissy's body.
but it may not even be that he saw her body. It may just be the actual realization that she's dead. Like he's like, oh, she probably drowned, but I don't think he believed it. And because he's like, you mean she ran out on you? No, she probably drowned, because don't bruise my ego. But then to find out she's been killed by a shark, it's like,
I mean, how attached to her could he be? He just met her last night. Come on.
Very true, very true. Yeah. So
really quick before we move on, I have a couple numbers that I would like to see if you two can guess really quick.
I don't like maths.
Well, you're not going to like these maths.
Animal.
Maths are hard.
I have a tomato meter score and I have a popcorn meter score. This is the latest in the fucking show we've ever done. Guess the Rotten Tomato score.
Yeah, it's fine. We usually but we're talking.
Oh no, we're all over. Like, blah. The show just freaking exploded out of nowhere, but yes,
we're in the yard, not too far from the car.
You know what always bothered me about that is it's not widescreen, and so all I ever see is the one damn dog sitting on the bed, and then later when he's going to work, she opens the door and you see one dog come out, but she says feed the dogs. Somebody feed the dogs, plural.
Oh,
And that's always bothered me my whole life.
wow. Never
And
noticed.
finally, yeah, well, see, I nitpick because I've seen this movie 200 times. And somebody finally said to me, "Have you ever seen the full footage? Because there's 2 dogs." I'm
Oh,
like, "No, actually, I have not."
okay.
Anyway,
Rotten Tomatoes. Sorry, Kasey.
All right, the Rotten Tomatoes. I have the popcorn meter score and I have a tomato meter score. Movie Miss, would you like to go first? Guess first.
sure. I'm gonna go 95 each because anything less is just unacceptable.
Agreed.
Co-host.
I mean, honestly, I was gonna go in the high 90s. I was gonna go like 97 popcorn meter and like 94 tomato meter. Or maybe vice
So
versa. Let's do it vice versa. 97 tomato, 94 popcorn. I think critics liked it better.
so close.
Oh,
So if you hadn't fucking flipped them,
oh.
you would have hit the tomato meter.
Ooh.
The
With
critics
94?
150, 158. You said 97.
Yes.
158 critics gave this movie a 97%.
Nice.
250,000 plus fans gave it a 90%.
Unacceptable.
So
No, but
fuck
again, it's the Rotten
them
Tomatoes
250,000 people.
it's the Rotten Tomatoes sliding scale that I talk about how
Yeah.
people are not old enough to have appreciated this in its time. So
Fair.
that's why I always like
Ooh,
I always
it's
guess look
not
down
Saw.
the comments.
No, it's better than Saw.
This is way better than Saw. Um, well, let me run through the awards real quick, and then we can if there's other stuff we want to talk about. Oh, actually, I do want to say one thing. I kind of, and I'm hoping this is addressed in the book. If you want to spoil this for me without saying anything, you can. I really wanted a little more of Brody's backstory. Like
No spoilers.
you get the feeling that they've come from New York and he's like, you can't make a difference and all this stuff. And then, here you can make a difference. And then after the attack happens and what the hell is her name? Ellen. Ellen's like, he says, take him home. And she's like, home back to New York. Like, I feel like there's so much story there. And I wish, I mean, I know it's already an over 2 hour movie, but I would like more Brody and Ellen and kids' backstory. So,
I'm going to say read the book and then let's chat.
okay.
I do have one last
No
question
spoilers.
about the movie, though. I one
Yes.
more thing because you just made me think of it.
Okay.
What's your favorite flavor ice cream when you're like 7 or 9 or however old Mike Brody's supposed to be here when he's in the hospital and she asks him what ice cream do you want? And he says coffee. I mean,
I thought he meant coffee, like he didn't want ice cream. He wanted actual coffee.
no,
Okay.
he wants coffee flavored ice cream.
I didn't even know that existed in 1975, to be honest.
I was eating it when I was a child because it was a treat because my mom would get it.
Okay.
And yeah, coffee ice cream was the bomb.
Interesting.
But
Mint
I wanted to
chocolate
ask you
chip for
guys,
me.
what were you eating when you were little?
Mint chocolate chip was a treat. We were usually eating the store brand 99-cent vanilla or chocolate. But if I could get mint chocolate chip, that was a treat.
Nice.
For a short so growing up we didn't get a whole lot of ice cream, but on the rare occasion that we did and we like went to Baskin Robbins or wherever, it was
I'm so sad
always
you
I
grew up with
wanted
Brahms.
it was
Sorry.
always bubblegum flavored ice cream.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. Okay, so this movie has received all the flowers.
Not enough.
Well, not enough. And actually, hold on, sorry. I had this and then I didn't write it down.
So it was nominated for
No.
4
Yeah,
Academy
so
Awards.
it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Sound, Best Film Editing, and Original Score. It won Best Sound. I was trying to look up what it.
So,
It lost
spoiler
to
alert.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest for Best Picture.
Okay, that's fair. Sorry, but that's fair.
And somebody, mainly Steven Spielberg, got his nose bent out of shape because he wasn't nominated for director.
I mean, given that Jaws was a horror movie, horror-esque, they're lucky it got nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I consider it partial horror and partial adventure movie, which is what he goes on to prove with Indiana Jones. He can nail an adventure movie.
Oh, fuck yeah, he can.
Did you know that Spielberg was so traumatized by the making of this movie and the whole process that he had nightmares for years after? And he would even sneak down onto the back lot when they brought the orca for the Jaws ride, and he would go sit in the orca and cry. And like it was a cathartic, like healing experience for him to do that for a while.
Have you done the Jaws ride at Universal in California? I have, and it's awesome.
I have not. It's on my bucket list because of all the things in the world for me to do. Yeah, I haven't.
And it's right before, so when I say the Jaws ride, I think there might be a ride, but I'm talking about going on the tram and you go through all this stuff.
Yeah. So, no, the ride's gone. The ride doesn't exist except in Japan, Universal Studios
Japan.
Japan.
Over the bridge and the shark comes out, and then it's right before you go up to the Psycho house. And I was like, I was in heaven.
Yeah, that's on my list for sure.
Yeah. So Golden Globes, it was nominated for Best Picture Drama, Best Screenplay, Best Director, and it won Original Score. John Williams won a Grammy for Best Original Score.
As he should.
Damn right.
Have. BAFTA Awards, it won Best Film, nominated for Richard Dreyfuss, and then Steven Spielberg and John Williams for their things. And then the AFI list, it was number 56 on the original Top 100 Movies list. It's also on the 100 Movies, 100 Thrills. It's on the Quotes list, the Heroes and Villains list. Bruce is 18 on the Villains list. And then it's on the Scores list. So
all well deserved.
All well deserved. And yeah, I don't. The Oscar's hard because I feel like it was worthy, but also One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is also a masterpiece. And, it's more Oscar-esque than Jaws is going to be. So I understand why it lost, but I'm glad it was nominated. I'm surprised Spielberg wasn't nominated.
I don't care what young people say. That period of movies in the mid-70s was an amazing time cinematically. Jaws, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, fucking Godfather came out around that time, not necessarily 75, but
yeah.
Texas Massacre. There's like a lot of groundbreaking things in all the genres.
Hold on, that was the year of, I think I'm looking at the wrong year. Because this is saying Godfather Part 2. I hate when I look at these because it's like, is it for 1975 or 1976 for the winning? I think it's 1976.
Well, if the film was released in 75, it would be the 76 Oscars.
Yes. Okay, there it is. I'm trying to see
who. As far as I know, the Oscars happened well before June 20th, 1975.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is some websites don't list them that way, but I'm looking at the Academy Awards site. So I'm trying to see. Oh, Stanley Kubrick. Okay. So I'm like, I feel like Spielberg could have been in there. Oh well. Anyway, do you guys have any favorite?
You also have to remember he was a young breakout.
True.
Director. He wasn't going to necessarily get his flowers coming out of the.
Are you talking about for this Spielberg?
Yeah.
So
no, Spielberg deserved it, But
Well, they didn't give it to him because they thought he deserved it, Jaws, if that's what you're saying. There was another guy hired, and I don't know who, but he kept referring to Jaws as a whale. And so they fired him and gave it to Spielberg. So it's like he wasn't first on their list
For directing the movie, you mean? Interesting.
for directing the movie.
I mean, yeah, if you don't know the difference between a mammal and a fish, then I don't want to talk to you.
Well, he was comparing it to kind of like the Moby Dick saga,
Right.
you know.
well,
You remember that
there's
movie Orca that came out like trying to copy off Jaws? And I
Right.
fucking love killer whales.
there is aspects of the story that are very Moby Dick-esque,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
there's definitely no mistaking Moby Dick for
Yeah.
Jaws.
did you know? I'm sure, movie miss ma'am, that you know this, but I read when I was researching stuff that Spielberg wanted to make a prequel set on the at the time of the Indianapolis thing.
Yes.
Like, I'm glad they didn't, but also that would have been kind of fucking cool. Like,
Well, you can watch the atrocious movie that they did make of it with Nicolas Cage if you're feeling frisky.
Oh, what is that called?
It's Indianapolis or something like that. Yeah. Look it up. Nick Cage.
But is it with a shark though? Does it tell that?
It's
part
the story like that Quint
told.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's obviously not going to be completely accurate, but
it would have been better if Spielberg did it. Well, yeah.
So Amanda can attest to this, and because I said it earlier while I was completing my rewatch. But so much of this movie, I literally hate the fuck out of Quint. Like I can't stand it. He's an asshole. He's a prick. He's a piece of shit. All the negative adjectives rolled up into one. That's Quint.
he's the brawn of the film. He's the driving muscle of the film. That's why.
Yeah.
He's playing that role.
But when they get to that point where they're sitting in the cabin on the boat, on the Orca, and Brody asks him about the scar on his arm.
No, don't tell me. Let me guess. Mother. And then he tells that story. I'm like,
and then he tells the long, drawn out, detailed story about everything that happened.
Yeah.
Ugh.
How can you not, if you have a soul, you're going to feel some kind of sympathy for him at that point.
We understand why he's so hard on the outside. I mean,
Well, that's why he says he'll never wear a life vest again.
Yeah.
Because he's like, when it's time to go, it's time to go. I'm not floating for days.
Yeah.
Well, and I can't necessarily say as I blame him, but, obviously, 6.5, 7 minutes later, whatever the hell it was time to go. Because Bruce done come out the water, hit the back end of that boat, sank it a little bit, and
that's all she wrote.
We're going water sliding down the fucking deck and landing in the freaking shark's mouth.
All right. Well, let's get to our top fives real quick so we can wrap this up. And as the guest, Movie Miss, we will let you go first. What did you pick for your top 5?
Oh, thank you. I actually wanted to rank the Jaws films.
Ooh.
And you might say to yourself, but wait, there's not 5. There is.
Really?
There is a movie that came out in 1995 from an Italian director called Cruel Jaws, aka Jaws 5, where it has no narrative connections to the Jaws franchise. However, they rip off scenes shot for shot from all 4 of the Jaws movies that do exist, as well as using actual clips from some of the films. So, I have ranked the 5.
Spielberg about to sue somebody.
I ranked the 5 films. Okay. So, at number 5, least favorite of all of them, and I have rewatched them all numerous times, is actually Jaws 3D. That's the bottom of the list.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though coked out Dennis Quaid is hilarious to me.
And hot.
So, 5 is higher than 3?
At number 4, we have Cruel Jaws.
Wow.
Because I get such a kick out of the ridiculousness, the Italian filmmaking style in the film, as well as the recreations of scenes from all 4 of the other movies.
Is it like Giallo style?
It's similar. There is some tone of Giallo in there, and it's really fucking funny to me. It should be a Mystery Science Theater movie. It's not. But that one makes me laugh so much that it has to be at the number 4 spot. And then at number 3, we have Jaws the Revenge, because I love me some Hoagie, some Michael Caine.
I love me some Jimmy from Halloween 2 playing Michael.
Oh, Lance Guest, Last Starfighter, baby. Wow. Yes. Except, you know what? I got to just throw this in. I just watched a werewolf movie that I absolutely love for the 500th time called Late Phases. And I refuse to believe Lance Guest is in it, because this man does not look like Lance Guest at all. And it's him. And I was in shock.
Okay. I mean, I've never heard of it, but I'll check it out because I like him.
Late Phases, okay. Night of the Lone Wolf. And it's on Tubi, I think, at the moment.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then 1 and 2, of course, is Jaws and Jaws 2. Jaws being number 1. I like to consider these films the same way I consider Halloween 1 and 2, where I like to watch them as one long film.
Yeah.
So I just put them in the 1 and 2 spots in order.
They're basically the same story, just with.
Except Jaws 2 has more screaming.
Almost literally. Well,
if I'm on those boats, I'm throwing Jackie right into the shark's mouth right off the bat.
Oh yeah, Jackie should have, yeah.
And then Marge, I'm sad every time I watch it, and Marge sacrifices herself for little Sean.
Oh, I know, oh, Sean. So Jaws 2 is actually my favorite, just by a tiny hair. But I think this is why, though, because I grew up. I was so young that the first Jaws didn't really connect with me, whereas the second one did a little more because it had so many kids in it, like teenagers.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. The teenagers, so yeah.
It was more appealing with those storylines. Now I can say I love them both equally, but
fair.
Earlier in my life, Jaws 2 was always my favorite, just because I, thought the teenager angle was more fun.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm going to go next.
Co-host.
And I did as much as it pained me. It hurt bad. It hurt real bad.
I hope you didn't do it.
Oh, I did. Top 5 John Williams scores.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus, fix it.
I like this.
And I haven't even picked my number 5 yet.
There's too many good ones to choose from.
There's too many good ones. All right, so
she literally told me last week she was thinking about doing this, and I literally went blam 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 blam, gave her 5 right off the damn bat.
Why was that going to be your list? Easy. Did she steal your list from you?
No. But
okay.
But all of these are off the top of my head. But real quick, 2 honorable mentions because I can't stand to not mention them. E.T. and Schindler's List. Like E.T., that music makes me cry every single time. It was right there, almost edged in, but yeah.
Okay.
All right. Number 5, Superman. I mean, who doesn't get chills?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to stop. Number 4 is Home Alone, a movie I grew up we watch it every year on Thanksgiving while we put up the tree, and so I associate it with all these happy memories and just beautiful.
Perfect.
Number 3 is Jaws. It's for obvious reasons. It's simple, it's thrilling, it's scary, it's just Number 2, Star Wars, and I'm saying the entire series. I mean, if you're asking me, I'm going for the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6, but I would just say Star Wars as a whole, just there is music in Star Wars that always just makes me like, and I'm not even the biggest Star Wars fan. I like the movies. I'll watch them when they're on, but I'm not like but the music is just chef's kiss. And then number 1 is Jurassic Park.
Ooh, good one.
Probably one of my favorite scores of all time. I mean, just
good one.
Beautiful. beautifully done. Beautifully
That
done.
gives me goosebumps when that
Me too.
kicks in for the first time. Yeah.
Yes, Kasey.
No, you have to put on your dunce cap and go to the back of the class. Put your hand down.
Yes, Indiana Jones was on my list. Yes, Hook.
Doesn't
Close
even get an
Encounters.
honorable mention.
Indiana Jones, Hook, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and Poseidon Adventure. Those were all the ones I wrote down. Besides, Poseidon Adventure is such an overlooked movie. I fucking love that movie.
I just bought that at a secondhand store for $1, so I'm super excited to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in decades.
I haven't either, but it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
And the
Wow.
score I remember being very chilling, or like maybe not chilling, thrilling. So,
Okay, now I'm wildly, I mean, I loved your list, but I'm wildly curious what Kasey came up with because I did movies, you did
know.
music. Like what could he possibly have had?
He knew what I was doing, so
So,
he's got something else.
I did. Mine was done before you even came up with yours. So, um, I did not go as specific to tonight's episode. I went with a loosely based
Okay.
top 5 where uh, and I still technically haven't fine tuned the title of the list yet, but
You'll be
I think we're going to go with top 5 psycho names for top 5 names for killers from horror movies that aren't their actual name.
How do you just not do top 5 shark movies? My mind is blown right now how outside the box
Nope.
you are.
So I had top 5 shark movies and top 5 Spielberg movies because I didn't know what you were gonna pick. All right,
I was not. I didn't want to go with the low hanging fruit.
well, there's nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't
So,
love a John Williams score or a Jaws
so
movie?
Who
All
doesn't
right,
love
technically,
low-hanging fruit?
exactly. My physical
hmm,
therapist said I can't do any activities where balls fly at my nose. There goes your social life.
all right.
Well, there go my
Sorry.
weekend
So
plans. Don't tell me that.
I have 8 unofficial names for horror movie killers. And my first honorable mention is going to be from Friday the 13th, Part 6, the nickname that Tommy gave Jason, Maggot Head.
Okay.
All right.
I guess this one is kind of sort of yeah. It could because technically it is the killer's name, but not. Um, John Kramer from Saw, who technically his name is Jigsaw, but honorable mention number 2, Jigsaw.
Okay.
And then shout out to Chancey Grife. My honorable mention number 3 from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Chop Top.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were
Okay.
gonna say Leatherface. Oh, Chop
No.
Top, that guy.
Could you imagine Leatherface just from that particular installment?
Um, we had an interesting discussion about that one a while back, and somebody, not naming any names because it's not legal in her state, may or may not have consumed a massive amount of gummies to watch that movie.
Oh, she may have. She did. Anyway.
So, all right, my 5, starting with number 5, and somebody might get pissy over this one, but I don't care. Number 5 is The Shape.
Okay.
Technically, not Michael Myers' name, but it is what he was referred to in essence. Number 4, Bruce, because I can't not have the shark somewhere on this list.
Poor Bruce the lawyer.
Number 3, I guess technically breaks my rule, but it's not because there is a nickname involved with the name. But Hannibal the Cannibal.
Okay.
And then
Yes.
my number 2 and my number 1, I'm unconventionally giving both of them to one character because it's my list and I can, so I make up the rules. My number 2 is the Springwood Slasher, and number 1, the bastard son of 100 maniacs. 1,000. Oh Jesus God!
Yeah, don't make it worse than it already is.
That's a respectable list. Don't
Yeah.
hate that list.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't a difficult list, but at the same time,
Okay.
Okay.
So movie miss, how much time do you have before we do our like? Do you have to go like right now?
Like, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do our reviews. I have a story to tell, but I'll tell it before.
Oh, you can tell it.
Oh, well, it's really quick. Okay, so I
Yeah.
had this dream. It's Jaws related. This is why I wanted to tell you. So I had this dream in high school, and I still remember it to this day. So, um, in high school, and even still now, I was plagued by night terrors. So I dreamt somebody was trying to murder me for like 6 months straight, every single night. But one night, I had this dream that we're at the beach. It's me and my mom and my grandma, my little brother, and we see Jaws. We see the shark versus the shark. And so we get out, we run back to our apartment, and he comes up out of the ocean and is walking on his back tail fin and runs to our apartment
Like Jabberjaws.
and starts banging on the door trying to get in. And when I had that dream, I was so scared. I woke up in like a sweat, like I was terrified. But now
Oh,
I just want to make a cartoon of this giant shark running on his tiny little back fin to our apartment.
it's like Jabberjaws, the shark. Yes.
Yeah, like one of the like scariest but now funniest dreams I've ever had because every
You
time I think of it
poor
now, I just
thing.
like can't stop laughing. Like, what kind of shark's gonna run in anyway? Yeah.
Right. No, when you're dreaming, you don't know that it's not logical for you.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, like you're terrified because it's horrifying at the time in your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, like in Nightmare on Elm
Aw.
Street 3, when they talk about a pill that could make you not dream, if that was a real thing, I would be first in line.
Hypnosil. Make it
Yeah,
a real thing.
yeah, please make it. Well, there are some antipsychotics that they will prescribe for that, but I'm kind of scared to do it. But
You need to dream. That's how your body works out your shit.
I
Like,
know, but I don't need to have nightmares every single
yeah,
night of my life. Every single dream I have is scary or stressful. Every single one, every night. And that can't be good for your blood pressure and all that stuff. So anyway, but yeah. But Jaws running up to me on his fins. All right. Why don't you give us your review and then you
so
can tap out whenever you need to.
um,
Or your ranking,
so well, this is obviously this is a 5 star, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, however you want to pull that, because you know, 5 shark fins out of 5 shark fins, because it's a masterpiece. It's a master class in filmmaking when you have to do scrappy shit to get your film made.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I mean, what can I say that hasn't been said? It's a masterpiece. Everybody should watch it, even if you don't think it's your cup of tea, even if you think you're not going to like it. You need to at least watch it. I've been doing that with other films. Like Godfather's not my thing,
yeah,
but you know what? I sat through it because it's a fucking classic and I had to expose myself to that. Same thing with Jaws. You need to be exposed to it.
Yeah.
It's a terrific film, 5 out of 5 for me.
Did you watch the second Godfather? Because I will die on the hill that part 2 is better than part 1.
Yes, and I agree with you.
Okay. Al Pacino, Michael Corleone is so hot. I can't stand it, even though I know he's an evil bastard. I just want him to do dirty things to me.
Oh,
Okay. Well, I agree with you. And again, yeah, just this movie is almost absolute perfection. Very few notes, and we didn't talk about things we didn't like, but I honestly can't really think of anything other than those townspeople being kind of assholes and the people being too old to have little kids.
and fingernails on a chalkboard. I could do
Oh,
without that.
I mute it every single
I
time.
could do without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt Hooper is probably one of my favorite characters. I'm not going to take this abuse much longer. and I used to say this to people all the time, but nobody would get it. I'd be like, love to prove that, wouldn't you? Get your name in the National Geographic. And
Yes.
sometimes I'll say it to my husband. And then the when I get drunk and fool around, I've heard people complain about that line, and
It's
I will
ad-libbed
say,
as well.
see, that's amazing. But I will say the people that complain about that haven't been married for more than 10 years. Because when you're married that long, it's literally like, want to have sex? Yeah, okay, let's go. Like, that's just what it is. When I get drunk and fool around, yep, let's go. So yeah, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 random shark teeth found in the hull of a boat because I couldn't think of anything better.
So, I'm exactly opposite of the ladies. I absolutely hated this movie.
Okay, show
Just kidding.
me the way to
Um,
go. Mm.
this movie
I'm
is
tired and I want to go to
aw-
bed.
this movie is absolutely a 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
So, and the girls were right with everything that they said. I mean, Spielberg is amazing. Roy Scheider, amazing. Um,
he can get it.
Richard Dreyfuss, amazing. Robert
He also
Shaw, amazing. Like,
can kind of get it.
there is nothing bad to say. I, I cannot, for my own taste, say anything bad about this movie. This movie may not be your cup of tea, but it is 100%, absolutely 100% a movie that everybody should experience once in their life. I don't care who
Definitely.
you are. So we're gonna go 5 out of 5 holiday roast beefs.
Without the curtains.
Yes, no curtains.
Oh, I
So
also want to throw in, I would love to know if anybody's in the comments or whatever later when you watch it, you two aren't going to get this. How many people watch this movie and they see the beach and they think of Whataburger? Because literally the tents on Whataburger is a fast food place in Texas, and it's orange and white. Like literally how the tents are painted, the orange and white, that's Whataburger. So every time I watch this movie, I want a cheeseburger.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, thank you for
uh,
being here. Sorry we kept you so long.
It's okay. This movie was worth every minute talking about it, and you two are so much fun to talk to. And what better movie for me? This was a blast. Thank you so much.
And hopefully you're
not a
ready for
problem.
Jason with a potato sack soon.
So ready for
Uh,
Sackhead. Summerween is
otherwise,
like the
otherwise,
best.
otherwise known as Friday the 13th, Jason meets the strangers.
He sounds like a superhero with balls for a head. Sack head.
Sackhead. I'm
So
totally going to
really,
draw that now.
really
He's got
quick,
like
so
two
we can
heads.
get out of here. Thank you to the listeners for being here each and every week. You guys are incredible. You guys are awesome. Thank you to Movie Mist for being here again with us and sharing your wealth of knowledge and passion about this movie.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
you are welcome to come back anytime you want, and ironically, that will be soon
I'm here for the
when we do
Sackhead.
Friday the 13th part 2.
I'm gonna start calling him
Um,
that.
we will work on getting a date and a time set up for that, as well as we have it chapter 1 coming up before the end of the month as well, because it is the hour that it is and people have shit to do. I'm not going any further into the schedule, so this was a lot of fun. We will be back next week or in a few days for our next episode, whenever Amanda and I can sit down and get the deets ironed out. But lots of fun. Be here at chapter 1, Friday the 13th, part 2, coming up before the end of the month. Thank you for all for being here. Co-host, take us home.
Okay, and the one thing I forgot to mention, we're not going to talk about, but I'm just going to do it on the way out. Shark! It's a shark. She's so unbothered. It's a shark. But thank you guys for watching and listening, and Caleb for commenting, and everybody else. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. And don't be afraid to go back in the water and come back for an evening at the movies. Goodbye.
Bye.
You said hair
Shark!
grease.
It's a shark!